Hello, folks. This is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball, the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers to the drawing on February 13th, 2019. If you'd like to give me any feedback on my game, Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you, and please subscribe. The premise behind my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 5 strategies of my game. Okay, so strategy number 1 is the game card color code. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage, and the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 1, 2, 3, 7, and 39. Okay, so what I do is I write those numbers at the top of this list. So again, it was the 1, 2, 3, 7, and 39. And then I look at what the colors were. Okay, so the 1 was purple, the 2 was red, 3 was green, 7 was green, and 39 were purple. Okay, so I'm going to just color these numbers in here. So again, that was purple, the red was 2, the 3 and the 7 were green. Okay, so there was 2 purple numbers, 2 green numbers, and a red number for 3 colors total. Okay, so I'm going to go up here to the number of color code drawings, okay, and this is up to 305 drawings now. And that means that a 3-color combination has now come up 165 times. Okay, so if you do the math real quick here, you can see that a 3-color combination comes up more than half the time. Okay, so I just want you to think about that for a second. You know, if you go to a casino at all, you know, the best odds that you're ever going to get in there is 50-50. Okay, and that's with craps and blackjack. Okay, so this is better than 50-50. Okay, so if you were just to pick a 3-color combination all the time, you're going to be correct in picking a 3-color combination more than half the time. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate a new game card. Okay, so what I do is I take out all the colors here and I start over again. Okay, so my color code is right here. Okay, you can see the red numbers, orange numbers, green, blue, and the rest purple. Okay, so I'm just going to concentrate on these 3 blocks right here, okay, of numbers, and these are all red numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go with the 1, 2, 3, 7, 39. And then the next one is 5, 13, 28, 38, and 63. And then it was the 10, 17, 18, 43, and 65. Okay, so again, I'm going to make those red numbers. All right. So now I'm going to count them out, and I got 3 and 4 is 7, and 1 is 8, and 3 is 11, 1 is 12, and 3 is 15. So I'm going to leave that alone right there at 15. Okay, so this is telling me up here how many colors there are. Okay, how many colored numbers there are. So again, there's 15 for this drawing. So now I'm going to go to the orange, and you can see that it's the first one is 2, which is already taken. So once it's taken, I can't recolor it. Okay, so I'm going to go off to the next one, which is 12, and then 16, 29, 54, and then 8, which is over here, 12, which is taken, 20, 21, 32, 23, 25, which is over here, 47, 48, 50, and last row is 5, which is taken, 8's taken, 41, 65, which is taken, and 66. So again, I'm going to color those orange, okay? So you can see that I have 2, and 2 is 4, and 2 more is 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 15. So I'm going to leave that one alone as well, okay? And now I'm going to go off to the green, okay? So you can see that I started off with 3 3 lines of numbers here, okay? So I do that with the red because what I'm doing here is I divided the 69 numbers by 5 colors, which equals 13.8, okay? So I want to get as close to 13 or 14 numbers per color as possible, okay? So if I only start off with the last 3 drawings for red numbers, then that's going to give me a maximum of 15 numbers, okay? So that's pretty close to the 13 or 14 numbers, all right? So once I start filling in these numbers over here on the game card, I need more orange numbers or the opportunity of orange numbers to reach that 13 or 14 number mark, okay? Because these numbers on the game card are filling in, okay? So you can see that I need even more green numbers to reach that 13 or 14 mark, okay? So this color code never changes, all right? So the number of colors certainly do, okay? So if a red repeats within these 3 drawings, then it's going to drop down to 14, okay? Or 13 if it doubles up, okay? So as I keep on going, I think it will make more sense to you, okay? So I'm going to start off with the 14. The 29 is taken, the 31, the 56, the 61. Then the 7 is already taken, 36, 48 is taken, 57, 58, 6, 19, 37, 49, 59, 3 is taken, 7 is taken, 15, 27, 69. Okay, I got 2 more left. Okay, and that's 8. That's taken. 12 is taken. 42, 46, 56 is taken. 12, 42, 51, 53, and 62. Okay, so I'm going to make those all green numbers, okay? So you can see that there's 3, 4, and 4 is 8, and 2 is 10, and 4 is 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, so that stays the same as well. Okay, so again, my goal is to get 13 or 14 numbers per color, but once the color code is in, I can't change it, okay? So I can't eliminate 2 of these green numbers, okay? 2 of these green rows and bring it down to 13 or 14, okay? It needs to stay the same, okay? So this will work itself out, okay? It's kind of like a caterpillar where this one will keep on working its way down, okay? And the numbers will always change, okay? The colored numbers will always change, and eventually it'll work itself out where it will be like, 13, 13, 13, or 14, So right now I'm going to go back to the blue, okay? And to save time on this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll over to this game card right here where you can see that, again, it was 15 red numbers, 15 orange, 20 green. It turned out to be 12 blue and 7 purple, okay? So this is the new game card for February 13th, 2019. Okay, so that's how I come up with the numbers, okay? So again, using this color code, for some reason, more than half the time, it does come up a 3-color combination, okay? So if 3 colors are coming up, that means 2 colors are not coming up. So again, there's 69 numbers in the Powerball, only 5 numbers can come up as winners. So that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, again, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate one of these colored numbers, okay? And what I'm going to do is my guess is that no purple numbers will be coming up. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate these purple numbers off of this game card. Okay, so I'm going to do it over here. But before I do, I want you to notice that this last drawing had no orange numbers to it. Okay, so as I scroll over, on this left side, I have the last drawing of 2/9/19, and over on the right side, I have this drawing of 2/13/19. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go side by side, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, but first things first is for this last drawing, there were no orange numbers, so I'm going to eliminate these orange numbers. Okay, so I'm going to show you on this left side on how the results of the game if you pick correctly. Okay, so again, I'm going to eliminate the orange numbers here. Okay, in this drawing, my guess is that no purple numbers will be coming up, so I'm going to eliminate the purple numbers here. Okay, so what I like you to do at home is I like you to draw out the game card. Okay, because I'm going to go through this step by step and give you the opportunity to play my game as I explain it. Okay, so if you could pause the video and draw out this game card. All right, and I'm going to go back. So if you decide to pick like I do and have no purple numbers for this drawing, well, you can see that the purple number is 22, 24, 26, 35, 44, 45, and 60. There's only 7 of them, okay? So this is how your game card should look, okay? You can see these X's here. I want you to X out the numbers that you don't think are going to be coming up, okay, on your game card. Okay, so I'm going to go off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 2, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks, okay? So what I've done is in this game card looking thing right here is I divided the numbers into odds and evens, okay? So the red numbers are odd, blue is even, okay? So I'm going to change this to 350 drawings, okay? And again, the numbers were 1, 2, 3, 7, and 39. So that means that there was 4 odd numbers and 1 even. Let's bring the total to 185. Okay, so if you add 185 to 165, you'll see that it comes out to 350, okay? So I already put this odds in, okay? So what I like to do is I like to break it out into every 5 drawings. And the reason why I do that is because it will show me a majority, okay? And that's what I'm always looking for here. I'm always looking for the majority of things, okay? So you can see that with this 5 odds, won this 5 drawings, 3 drawings to 2, okay? The next 5 was odds, 4 drawings to 1, okay? Then it was evens, 3 to 2, okay? So you can see right here, there was a lot of odds, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So by breaking it out into 5s, it helps me count pretty quickly as well. So out of these 25 drawings, the odds have led a lot, okay? So now I think that things are going to switch up, and I think that there's going to be a lot of evens coming up here, okay? So with this drawing coming up, I believe that there's going to be more even numbers than odd numbers, okay? So I'm just going to write that down on the game card. I'm just going to write down evens, okay? And I want you to do the same thing. Okay, you tell me what you think will be the majority here of odds and evens, okay? And write that down on your card. Okay, so the next one is, well, I'll tell you that I have 4 of them total, okay? So the next one is high and low, where all the numbers in blue are low, are considered low, and all the numbers in red are considered high. So you can see that the 66, the 67, and 65 are in the blue. So if those numbers come up, I consider them low because it's in the blue area, okay? So again, it was 1, 2, 3, 7, 39. So there was 1 high number and 4 low numbers. So I'm going to change this to 174. And you can see that it will add up to 350. Okay, so with this one, it should say 5 to 0. Okay, so as I go down through, you can see that there was a bunch of highs here, okay? And now I think that there's going to be lots of lows, but since this hit 5 in a row, I'm thinking that this next drawing, I think the majority is going to be on the high side, where I think that there's going to be more numbers coming up in this red area than the blue area, okay? So look at this and decide what you think is going to come up as well, and write that down, okay? The next thing is left and right. Okay, I already just left this alone. Okay, so there is 3 to the left, the 1, 2, 3, and then there's 2 numbers to the right, the 7 and the 39. Okay, so you can see that these numbers add up to 350. All right, so as I go down through, you can see that there was a bunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, out of these last 20 drawings, the majority has been to the right side. Okay, so I think for this drawing, I think that there's going to be more numbers to the left side than the right side. Okay, so write down what you think is going to happen. Okay, so if you think it's going to be more to the right, then write that down. And then the next one is this red and blue. Okay, so you can see that it was red, blue, 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 okay? But as I keep on going down, you can see that the red has really come up a lot more than the blue, okay? So at the very top here, you can see that overall there's been 198 majority to the red area and 152 to the blue area here, okay? So since this has come up 4 reds in a row here, my guess is that the majority of the 5 numbers will be in this blue area, okay? So I think it's to the left. I think it's high. So I think at least 2 numbers will be in this area right here, okay? So I want to be conscious of that, okay? So the next thing is the Powerball number itself. The last Powerball number was 25. So over over in this column right here, a blue number means low, 1 to 13, and a red means high, 14 to 26. Okay, so there's 26 numbers total, so I just divided this into 2. Okay, so as I go down through, you can see that there's been a lot of red here. Okay, very little blue. But I think that this 25 or this 21 is going to come up in this drawing right here. Okay, so as I go down, you can see that I have these green marks, and what that means is that the Powerball repeated itself. Okay, so you can see that there was 2 18s and 2 15s. Okay, so as I keep on heading down, you can see that this 21 has come up a couple of times. 12, 15, 1, 14, 12, 12. So here's a 25. So 25 has a history of repeating, okay? It's only done it once, but it does have that history. And here's the 21. So for me, what I think is going to happen for this drawing is I think something's going to happen like this, okay? So you can see that this 4 came up, then the 9 came up, then the 4 came up again, okay? So I think that's going to happen for this drawing. Okay, so if I could get to the top here, you can see that the 21 came up, now the 25, so this next one I believe is going to be the 21. Okay, so for me, I'm going to go with the 21 for the Powerball, and hopefully that will come up. Okay, so again, I think it's either going to be the 21 or I think the 25 will repeat itself. Okay, so you could look at this and you could say, boy, there hasn't been too many blue numbers. I'm going to go with a blue, which means I think it's going to be a low number, 1 to 13. You know, so if you have a favorite number like 6 or 7 or whatever, you might want to go with that. Okay, but for me, I'm going to go with the 21. And this is the thing about my game. You know, you don't know if you're going to be right or wrong until the numbers come up. Okay, so make your pick on that. And I'm going to go to the next strategy here. And strategy number 3 is the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this down so you can see the whole thing. Okay, so again, there's 69 numbers in the Powerball. And what I did is I divided those 69 numbers into 7 groups, okay? So the first group has only 9 numbers, okay? So I keep track of this 1 through 9. And then it's the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, okay? Again, for 7 groups total. So there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So that means 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it, okay? So what I like to do is I like to divide things into 5 drawings, okay? So again, it shows me that majority, okay? And I like to see how many hits were in a certain area, okay? So you can see that this only has 9 numbers, where all the others have 10 numbers, but this came up a lot more. You can see that there was 4, 5, 6, 7, and then over here to like the 50s, where it has 10 numbers, only came up with 1 number, okay? So just having 9, that doesn't really mean too much, okay? It's still pretty close to 10, you know? So, again, the object of the game here is to eliminate numbers, okay? So, look at this and decide what numbers you don't think are going to come up, and then X those numbers out on the game card, okay? So, for me, I'm going to go with the 30 number, okay? And the reason why I'm doing this is because I look at this first row here in this 5, okay? And I look down here and I see that there was a hit, a hit, a hit, a hit. Okay, a hit. So 4 in a row here, and you can see that there wasn't one here, down here. Okay, so for me, there was, 4 of these rows that hit right here on the first, and I just don't think that's going to happen here in the 30s. Okay, so again, my personal pick is I don't believe any 30 numbers are going to come up. Okay, so I want to get rid of them. I want to eliminate those numbers off of the game card. Okay, so one last thing, you can see that I put these numbers in, a 1, 2, 3, 7, and 39, okay, for this last drawing. And as I go over, you can see that I hit 2 groups, okay. Group number 1 of the 1 through 9, and then the 30 for 2 groups, okay. So 2 groups hardly ever comes up, okay. You can see that the majority is either 3 or 4s, okay. So because I haven't seen a 3 or a 4 in a couple of drawings, I think it's either going to be a 3 or a 4, okay. So if one of those numbers happens to come up, then I'll be happy with that. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. All right, so I'm going to go back to the game card. And with the last drawing, let me go back to the individual numbers here. For the last drawing, you can see that there was no 60 numbers here. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate the 60 numbers from the last drawing. Okay, so here's 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, and 69. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of those numbers. Okay, and for this drawing, my guess is that no 30 numbers will be coming up. Okay, so I'm going to start with 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Okay, so hopefully those 30 numbers won't come up, okay? And I'll get rid of those. So this is last drawing card, and this is this drawing, okay? So let me pump this back up to 90% here, okay? So I'm off to the next strategy. And that is strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so what I did is I divided these numbers into 4 different groups, and I put colors to these groups. Okay, and then down here in the stats, I put down what where the numbers landed within these groups. Okay, so again, it was 1, 2, 3, 7, and 39. Okay, so there was 3 numbers in the red area, there's 1 in the blue, there was 0 numbers that came up in the orange, and 1 in the green for 5 numbers. Okay, so I'm just going to color this red here, okay, for a hit, and with the zeros I color it blue, okay, and I'm going to put down that this is now 97. So that means there's 97 zeros or blue marks within this column here, okay? So the object of this game here, again, is to eliminate numbers. So if I could have correctly guessed that none of these orange numbers were going to come up, I could have eliminated all these orange numbers and gave myself a much better chance at picking the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers, okay? So let me change this to 7. Okay, and I'm going to go on to option card number 2. I think just showing you will help you understand what's going on here. Okay, so again, it was 1, 2, 3, 7, and 39. Okay, so there's 2 red, 1 blue, and 2 green. So 2 red, 1 blue, no orange, 2 green. Again, I'm going to color this red for a hit, and a 0 blue for a miss. Now I'm going to make this 80. Okay. So I'm going to go off to the next one here. Okay, so you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 7. So there's 4 red. And then there was 1 orange. Okay, so no blue numbers came up. 1 orange. No green numbers came up. Okay, so I'm going to color these blue and these red. I'll make this 66. And this 75. Okay, so the reason why I keep track of this is to give me some kind of guidance on what group of numbers I don't think are going to come up. Okay, so I'm going to do one last one here. Okay, and you can see that it was red, red, blue, blue, blue. Okay, so 2 red, 3 blue, 0, 0. Color these blue. And I'm going to color these red. This 63 and 69. Okay, so I did it 4 times, so hopefully you'll have a pretty good idea of what's going on here. Okay, so I have 15 of these option cards, and I've already filled the rest in. Okay, so what I like you to do is at home, I like you to write 4 words. I like you to write down red, blue, orange, and green. Okay, so when you see a 0, I like you to put a number under it. Okay, so you can see that you should have a 1 under the orange. Okay, so here I have 2 orange numbers. Okay, now here's a blue and a green, orange and a green, orange, green, green, green. This is a row. Okay, and what this means is that all 4 colors hit. Okay, and that happens sometimes. Okay, so if it doesn't happen within 10, 12 drawings, then I believe that it's due to happen. Okay, so what I mean by that is I have one of these cards that I haven't hit in a while as a row. Let me point that out to you. Okay, option card number 4, you can see that the row's down here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 drawings that a row hasn't come out. Okay, so I believe that a row is due to happen here. Okay, so what that means is that when I'm reducing the numbers, okay, what I like for something to happen here is that the numbers that are left, I'm hoping that it will represent all 4 of these colors on this option card number 4. Okay, so hopefully there's 2 red, a blue, a green, and an orange somewhere. Okay, so as I go back, what I'm doing here is I forgot which one I was at, so I'm just going to get right down to the point here. Okay, so what it is I keep it a overview of this group 1. Okay, so with all the green, there was 10 green misses among these 15 option cards, okay? So there was 10 zeros within these 15 option cards, okay? And there was 4 in the orange, 2 in the blue, and 2 in the red. Okay, so what I do here is when it gets 5 or more zeros among these 15 option cards, I color this blue for cold, okay? If it's less than 5, then I color it red for hot. Okay, so the reason why I do that is I want some separation, okay? So if I can correctly guess that this is going to be a blue mark, then I know that a third of these option cards are going to have a 0 to it, okay? So I'm kind of thinking that's what's going to happen with this green, because you can see that here, you can see that these 2 marks doubled up, and over here there was 5 blue marks in a row. Now it's when you go down through this blue, this green over here, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 single blue marks before it doubles up, okay? And even before that, there was like 30 of them, okay? So just by going through things, you know, I just expect that sometime it's going to have at least 3 blue marks in a row, or even 4 or 5, okay? So I think it's just due to happen, okay? It's just gonna, just the ebb and flow of things, okay? So I'm thinking that this is gonna double up and have a lot of zeros within these green areas, okay? So I'm only gonna pick, I'm gonna pick 2 of these, okay? So, oh, one last thing that I wanted to show you here is that the total of blue marks were 18, okay? Before that it was 12. Couple things, couple drawings before this was 8. Okay, so it varies a lot, but there's always a couple of blue marks within this thing, okay? So I don't recommend that you pick a lot of them, but I do want to pick at least 2, okay? And the ones that I'm going to go with, even though I think that there's going to be a lot of green ones that are going to miss, I'm going to pick this orange one right here, okay? So you can see that I wrote down no 3s, okay? No 3. And what that means is that within these columns, you're going to see that there's 3 zeros within a lot of these columns here. So as I go down, you can see here's another 3. Okay, here's another 3, another 3, 4 over here. Okay, another 3. Okay, a bunch here. Okay, but this orange column right here, you can see that there's never been 3 zeros in a row. Okay, so as I keep on heading up, you can see, again, no 3 zeros in a row like the other columns. Okay, so I just think that that's due to happen eventually here, and maybe it's going to happen right now. Okay, so I'm kind of hoping that there's going to be 3 zeros in a row with this orange numbers here. So I'm going to eliminate these orange numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to do that for last drawing too, because you can see that there was no orange numbers here as well. So as I go back to the game card, I'm going to start with last drawing here. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this is over here for the last drawing is I want to show you that if you do make the correct picks, the 5 winning Powerballs will reveal itself, okay? So hopefully that's going to happen again. So I'm going to eliminate it off of this current game card. Okay, so I have these numbers off to the side here, okay? And what that means is that a couple of these numbers share the square is what I call it, okay? So the 53 and 69 share this square. So what that means is that when I get rid of this 69, this square, I'm going to get rid of the 53 as well. And that goes over for this one as well. So as I go back here, okay, you can see that I don't have any other numbers over here to the left side, okay, because it's all the 53 and 69 share this square right here, okay. So what that means is that all these numbers in orange is what I'm keeping track of, okay, plus the 53, okay. So again, when I put a 0 here, that means none of these numbers came up, including the 53, okay. So I hope that makes sense to you. And as I keep on going, I think that it will. Okay. So the next one that I'm going to pick is this option card number 7, no green numbers. Okay. And the reason why I'm picking this one is because it had a bunch of single zeros to it here. And plus it had some pretty large numbers like this 14, 8, 9. Well, 5's not that large, but now the 22, okay? So this longest streak here, you can see that it's 27. So as I head down through, let's see if I can't find that 20 right here, okay? So this was the longest streak for this option card number 7, okay? So again, you can see that there's only 58 blue marks where this one has 92, 70, and 70 somewhere. Okay, so this is way behind, and I think it's going to start to catch up here a little bit. So I don't believe that any of these green numbers will be coming up. Okay, so the 8 shares the square with the 66, the 19 with the 67, the 58 with the 68, and the 69. The 53 with the 69. Okay, so you can see that I'm getting rid of 4, 4, 4, and 4. Okay, so there's 16 numbers, and plus I got another 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers that I'm going to get rid of. So there's actually 20 numbers associated with this green area here. Okay, so again, there's 69 numbers, so 20 is not all that much, so I'm hoping that none of these green numbers will come up, so I'm going to get rid of them. And you can see that the last drawing, there was none of these green numbers came up as well. So I'm going to go back, and this green area I'm going to get rid of. Okay, so again, the 19 shares the square with the 67, so I'm going to get rid of the 19 as well. And then it was the 34, 35, 59, 68, and that shares the square with the 58, so I'll get rid of that. Then it was the 45, the 69, and then over here, which are already gone. Okay, so I'm going to do that with the same thing. So it was the 4 corners over in this lower right-hand corner. So I got rid of the 66, which means I get rid of the 8 as well. And then these 4 numbers, which includes the 19, then the 68, then the last one over here is the 56, okay? So I'll get rid of all those numbers, and hopefully none of those numbers will come out. Okay, so over here you can see that the 1, 2, 3, 7, and 39 are still in play. And hopefully the winning numbers for this drawing, February 13th, hopefully the numbers are still in play on this game card. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. And that is strategy number 5, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. Okay, so much like group 1, where I divided the numbers into 4 different groups, here I divided the numbers into 8 different groups. Okay, so it's just another way of looking at groups of numbers. Okay, so what this is, I'm going to fill in the blanks here as well. Okay, so the numbers were 1, 2, 3, 7, and 39. Okay, so you can see down here I have red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. These are the stats for this certain color groups here. Okay, so I'm going to put a 1 in the red, a 1 in the blue, 1 in the orange, and 2 in the gray. Okay, so as I go down, this is where things are right now. Okay, this is the current stats. So I got a 1 for the red. I got a 1 for the blue. Now the reason why this is highlighted in yellow is because it's kind of on the edge of either being a blue or a red. Okay, so let me explain what the blue and red is here. Okay, so what I like to do is divide things into 5. Okay, so that will show me a majority. So as I write down what happened here in the stats, again, I like to keep it in a row of 5. Okay, so if there's 3 or more zeros, then I color the background blue for cold. If there's 3 or more hits, I color the background red for hot. Okay, so we all know that the lottery is really random. Okay, so as I go down through, this is what random looks like. Okay, so if there's lots of red, well, eventually it's going to turn blue or vice versa. Okay, so if there's lots of blue, then eventually it's going to turn red. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen. Okay, so as I go down through, you can see that the yellow has 2 zeros and two misses and 2 hits. I don't know what's going to happen, so I look at the rest and I say, gee, I think that this is going to be red, then that means that there's going to be a hit to it, okay? Or I say, gee, I think it's going to be blue, so there's going to be a 0 or miss to it. Okay, so here, this is the orange area. There was red, blue, orange, and green had a 0 to it. Purple had a 0 to it. Brown had a 0. Gray had the 7 and the 39. And then the yellow had a 0 to it. And then over here, I count how many groups it hit. So it was the red, blue, orange, and 2 gray for 4 color groups total. Okay? It hit 4 color groups total. So the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side. Okay? So I'm going to color this blue, color this for red. And that tells me that the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side. Okay? So now this has 3 to it, so I'm going to color it red for a hit. And this, both of these, I'm going to color blue because it only had 2 hits to it. Okay? So this next drawing will be down here. Okay? So again, well, what this 3 means right here is that there was 3 red areas. Okay, so I only count the red areas. Okay, like here, 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 4 red areas, 4, 5, 2. Okay, so when I don't see something like this, a 3, well, a 3 just came up, but when I don't see a number that usually comes up and I don't see it for a long time, then that helps me when it's near the end here, okay, where there's 4 of them in here. And well, I'll keep on explaining it as as the drawings keep on coming up. Okay, so this 70 means that there's 70 of these rows here. Okay, and now I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, so this is where this helps me out here. Okay, well, you can see that I already have a 3 here, but as I'm looking at this, okay, and I don't know the result, I look at it and say, gee, is this going to be a hit or is it going to be a miss? Okay, so I already had the 3, so that tells me that this is already a miss to it. Okay, so let's find out what happened. Okay, so again, it was red, 1, 2, 3, and 7, and 1 purple. So there was 4 red numbers and 1 purple. So I'll put a 0 here, 0, 0, and here's the purple. So there's the hit, and then the rest have zeros to it. Okay, so this is why I say to eliminate numbers. Okay, because you never know when there's going to be like a 4 here. Okay, so only 2 of these color groups got hit, so that means 6 of them had misses to it. Okay, so again, it should be easier to pick the misses than the hits. Okay, so I'm going to color this blue. Okay, and everything's up to date. Okay, so I'm going to do the next one. Okay, so I kind of blew it already here. All right, so you already kind of saw that there was 4 red, so this is obviously going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so my pick was this brown. Let's see if there's a 0 here. So as I head up, it was blue, orange, green, yellow, and orange. Okay, so blue, 2 orange, green, and a yellow. So there is no red, blue, orange, green. I'm sorry, there's 2 orange. 2 orange, green, no purple, no brown, no gray, and 1 yellow. Okay, so that's 4 color groups that hit, and the majority is over here to the left side, so I colored that red, and now I'm going to color this blue because there's only 2 hits to it. Okay, so here I'm going to write down 4. Okay, so over here, this next one, and this is the last one I'm going to do, okay, number 4 here. So I look at things, I want to figure out, I want to take my best guess on what's going to miss, and I think it's going to be this yellow right here, okay? So as I head up, let's find out where the numbers land. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 39 are all purple. So I got 1 red and 4 purple. 1 red, no blue, no orange, no green, 4 purple, no brown, no gray, no yellow. Okay, so I'm going to fill these in. These 2 are red, and these 2 are blue. Okay, so I was correct with the yellow. So again, if I could keep on making these guesses here, okay, I could have eliminated all these yellow numbers and reduced the numbers for myself, okay, reduce the odds. Okay, so as I go back here to option card number 1, I'm going to look at where the 0 was for the last option card, okay, for the last game card, and I'm going to go with yellow. And for this drawing here, I'm going to say that no red numbers are going to come up. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the game card. Okay, so I said no yellow numbers for the last one, for the last game card. So I'm going to get rid of these. Okay, so let me go back here. Okay, so you can see that I'm eliminating all these yellow numbers in the past game card. And for this game card, I don't think any red numbers are gonna come up, so I want to get rid of them. Okay, so I'll go back to the game card so you can see that no yellow right here, and over here I don't think any red numbers are going to come up. So I'll get rid of those. Okay, so the 25 shares the square with the 65, so I'm going to get rid of that. So again, as I go back to this group 2 here, you can see that the 25 and 65 are right here. So again, I'm only concentrating on these 9 numbers right here for the stats. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next one, option card number 2. And as I head down through, you can see that this blue didn't come up in the last drawing. So I'll get rid of those blue numbers. And for this drawing, I don't think any red numbers are going to come up. Okay, so for the last drawing, I'm going to get rid of these blue. And for this drawing, I'm going to get rid of these red. Okay, so over here, the last drawing, get rid of these blue numbers. Okay, and for this drawing, I'm going to get rid of these red numbers. Okay, so as I head back, I'm going to go off to option card number 3 here. Okay, so the thing about this is that, again, you can see that there's 8 groups of numbers. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners. So that means 3 of these groups cannot come up. Okay, and on average, it's 4. Okay, it's kind of like a 50-50 thing here where 4 of these groups are going to come up and 4 aren't. Okay, so like this last drawing, you can see that the blue, the orange, the green, and the yellow came up. Okay, so that's 4 groups, and then there was no red, no purple, no brown, no gray. Okay, so another 4 that missed. All right, so it's kind of like a 50-50 thing. It's kind of like a coin flip guess here. Okay, so just guess at one and move on to the next one. Okay, so for this, I'm going to go with, for the last drawing, red, no red numbers. And I'm going to stick with that for this drawing. Okay, so I want to look at the red. And you can see it's the 4 to the 28 and the 37 to the 61. So as I go back for the last drawing, I want to get rid of these red numbers. And for this drawing, I want to get rid of those red numbers as well. Hopefully they won't come up. Okay, so I'm off to the next one. Option card number 4. Okay, so you can see that there was no yellow numbers that came up in the last drawing. And for this drawing, I don't believe any red numbers are going to come up. Okay, so the last drawing is yellow right here. And for this drawing, it's red right here. Okay, so as I go back to the game card, last drawing, no yellow numbers. This drawing, no red numbers, and you can see that they're already gone. Okay, so I made that pick here in the red. I don't want to go back and make another pick. Okay, I just don't want to do it. The odds are just way against you when you go back for a second pick. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one, option card number 5. And this is going to be the brown area for the last drawing. And I'm going to stick with this for this drawing as well. Okay, so let's see what the brown numbers are. You can see where these brown numbers are right here. So as I go back to the game card for the last drawing, you can see that there's nothing here. Okay, for the brown. But over here there is. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of these 2 numbers right here. Okay, so you can see that the winning numbers are 1, 2, 3, 7, and 39. Okay, so as I go back to group 2 here, go on to option card number 6. And by the way, I have 15 of these option cards. Okay, so last drawing, you can see that there was no winning numbers in the orange area. And for this drawing, you know, I looked at it, and I just can't seem to make a guess, so I'm gonna pass this. Okay, no pick. Okay, so for the last drawing, again, it was orange. It was the 5, 14, 21, 30, all the way down. Whoops. 5, 14, 21, 30, and the 46. And again, with this one, this pick here, this drawing, no pick. Okay, I just couldn't make up my mind, so I'm gonna move on. Okay, you don't have to pick at every single one of them. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to option card number 7. Okay, and the last drawing, you can see that no purple numbers came up, so I'll get rid of those purple. And for this one, I'm gonna go with the brown. Okay, so last drawing, no purple, 57, 50, 59, and for this drawing, no brown, 110, 3, 12. Okay, so last drawing, 57. Okay, so get rid of those numbers, and for this one, it was the brown, and I'll just look at it again here, 110, 3, 12. Okay, so you can see that I can't get rid of any numbers here as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this group 2, option card number 8. Okay, so for the last drawing, there was no yellow numbers that came up, so I'll get rid of those. And my pick for this one is no red numbers. Okay, so we'll see what that looks like. So no yellow in the last drawing, 4, 9, 20, 65, all the way down. So 4, 9, 20, 65, let's just get rid of that 36. Okay, then over here, it was, I'm going to go with no red, and that's 5, 16, 21, 31, all the way down. 5, 16, 21, 31, so I can't eliminate any numbers there. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2. The next one is option card number 9. And you can see that there were no yellow numbers that came up in the last drawing. Okay, and for this one, I'm going to go with no purple numbers. Okay, so no yellow numbers, 12, 17, 66, 29. So I'll get rid of that 17, 44, 66, 29, and that's it. Okay. And then over for this drawing, I was going to get rid of the purple numbers, which is 11, 18, 5, 32. Okay, so I could get rid of that 43. Whoops. Supposed to be over here. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's all I could get rid of is the 43 and 50. Okay, so as I go back to group 2 here, I just want to double check. Okay, so I'm off to option card number 10. And you can see that no gray numbers came in for the last card. Okay, and for this one, I'm going to go with, I don't believe any yellow numbers are going to come up in this drawing. Okay, so you can see that the gray is 1728, kind of all the way around here, and the yellow is 2065 all the way around. Okay, so you can see that I can't get rid of any gray here. And over here, I could get rid of the 52. Okay, so I'm off to the next one. Getting close. There's only 5 more option cards left. Okay, so here's number 11. And I'm going to go with no orange. You can see that no orange came up in that last drawing. And I'm going to stay with that as well, just because you can see that in the past, orange has been really, really hot here. Okay, so I see a lot of red, and now I think there's going to be lots of blue here in the future. Okay, so it's this 66, 67, 33, and 54. So here's the 33 I could get rid of. Okay, over here, 66, 67, 54, so I could get rid of those. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers left, and over here I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2, option card number 12. You can see that no blue numbers came up in this last drawing. And I'm not going to make a pick on option card number 12. I just didn't really see anything that I liked. Okay, so again, I'm going to stick with the blue 66 and 36. 66 and 36. I'll get rid of these two in the past drawing. And over here, I couldn't make a decision, so I'm going to leave that one alone. Okay, so back to group 2, option card 13. You can see that there were no gray numbers here, okay, for the last drawing. And I'm going to go with red over here for this drawing, okay. So you can see the last drawing is gray, 5 and 33. I'll get rid of that 42 here. And again, no red numbers I don't believe is going to come up in this drawing. So the 65 and 61. Oops. Okay, so you can see that over here I'm down to 5 numbers, okay? So these are the numbers that I'm going to be going with. And then option card 14, you can see that no orange numbers came up in the last drawing, so I'll get rid of the orange. That's 4, 16, 32, 33, 49. You can see that none of those orange numbers are there. Okay, so okay, I must have messed up somewhere here, going back and forth like this. I should have eliminated this 55 at some point, and I didn't. Okay, so you can see that last drawing. Again, the numbers were 1, 2. The winning numbers were 1, 2, 3, 7, 39. Okay, and for this drawing here, I'm not sure what you came up with. Okay, but I came up with 13, 40, 42, 46, and 51. Okay, so that's about it for this drawing here. Hopefully I didn't go too fast for you. What I wanted you to do was take a look at this and decide for yourself what numbers weren't going to come up. Okay, so if you decided to go with no purple here on 50, no green on 15, then you would have X'd out all these green numbers here. Okay, so you can go back and pause the video if you need to. Okay, but for this drawing here, I'm going to go with the 13, the 40, 42, 46, and 51. So you can see that I wrote down evens. I thought there was going to be more even numbers than odd numbers, okay? So you can see that the 40, 42, and 46 will make that happen, okay? And I did think that there was going to be a lot of numbers here, at least 2 numbers here in this area right here, okay? I thought there was going to be more to the left, I do believe. But it doesn't always work out that way, okay? So we'll see what happens. I think there's, it says that it's going to be more to the right. We'll see what happens, okay? I thought there was going to be more high numbers than low numbers. That's certainly the case here. You can see that there's way more high than low and way more even than odd, okay? So that's how I play my game, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. I want to go to the odds here. Okay, so the odds of playing the grand prize to get all 5 white balls and a red ball correct is 1 in 292 million odds of winning. Okay, this is my goal, is to hit the $1 million prize. That's 1 in 11,688,000. Okay, so astronomical odds. And of course, that's why it pays so well. Okay, so if you get 4 numbers in the Powerball, that's $50,000 and whatever the power play is. And it keeps on going down. So just 4 numbers will give you $100 plus the power play as well. Okay, so if the power play is times 3, then you get $300. Okay, so my game is just a great game to help you choose your numbers. I can't guarantee any of your winnings, and people that do guarantee something like that, well, again, I like to show you the odds of 1 in 11,600,000 odds. So the odds are astronomical here. So if somebody says, yeah, I guarantee that you'll win, well, I doubt it. Okay, so for me, I just think that you have your best guess, and that's it. Okay, so in closing, thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. And as always, best of luck with your picks.